World leaders get ready to attend the COP26 meetings in Glasgow. South Africa's Eskom has become the world's largest single emitter of sulphur dioxide. Now it's outstripping the entire power sector emissions of any country in the world. That, of course, is excluding India, according to a study by the Center for Research on Energy and Clean Air. So, is the country ready to meet its emission reduction commitments? Well, Angelo Coppola brings us more.
Some questions have been raised about whether South Africa has everything in place, from a policy, legislation and regulatory perspective, to deliver on its emission targets.
I don't think we do. I think that the President certainly has got a vision around this. We've made some astoundingly large commitments that will be delivered in Glasgow next week. To my mind, they are purely aspirational, and the big challenge there is going to be in integrating that vision across some fairly complex ministries, from the presidency to energy to environment to finance and so on.
There is some policy in place and a regulatory framework managed by the National Electricity Regulator aimed at monitoring the energy environment. However, one area still lacking is national standards for carbon offset schemes that allow companies to invest in environmental projects so that they can balance out their own carbon footprints.
It's very, very important for us at the moment. We are still subject to international standards, which are sometimes expensive and time-consuming to get through the various hurdles.
There's another challenge facing the country, according to Kramer.
The energy ministry is very much behind the coal industry and while it talks about other additional forms of power, there isn't an upstream exploration bill adequately in place yet. We've done precious little to connect renewables to the grid, and then we've got the financing challenges.
The country's mineral and energy minister sees coal being used for several more years, and any move away to other energy sources has to ensure that local communities near coal mines aren't negatively affected. The so-called just transition. Cabinet generally agrees with this approach, while at the same time it recently set more ambitious emission targets.
We've been hearing mixed messages from our politicians about wanting to reach a net zero goal, but possibly hanging along a bit longer onto coal as a fuel source. So we need to have a uniform message.
The just transition is going to require policy certainty, and it's got to happen quite quickly so that we don't fall further behind. I'm Angelo Coppola for CGTN in Johannesburg, South Africa.